Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and this is Status Orders 7 with our jump save. Now, might look a little different. I had a video uh, that sadly got corrupted, but kind of explains the issues we were having. There were a couple of race courses that just were wrong, running through the stands on one of them. Um, Try to export those, reload them. I figured out there's more of an issue with the schedule, and it's actually trying to run default courses and races from a default schedule, even though we're using start it mod schedule. So there was an issue there. Now, what I had to go and do was transfer all these horses in to my transfer list from the other save. I had to go and get all the breeding horses from the other save. The ones that we had, because we had everybody bred up, I just went to the end of the season, exported all the 1-year-olds to the transfer list, and all the horses we had in the field. So the yearlings are here, and the horses that were in the field are here. They're going to take another year to two to import. So you can only do 16 a season. I've already imported a bunch into this save, mainly the racers and the breeders. And Rachel Gall was already on this list. She was a yearling in that save, so she'll be brought in to this save as well. This is a brand new save. I've had to go ahead and completely remake the save, reinstall the schedules from the mod, include a separate schedule that didn't work, but because it was present, the game then asks you to choose a schedule, and I could flip back and forth between them and force it to be pointed in the right direction, I guess, is the best way of saying it. So I have not tried um, to reload a combined jump schedule. I decided that we would try a brand new, just jumps only, and simplify it because there were little conflicts that may have been resolved, like switching between the flats and the jumps. Um, this is a much more simplified schedule. There are no American races. It is primarily, not entirely, but primarily Britain, Ireland, and France, and jump centric. So, with that in mind, it should be a little bit easier for me to navigate and to fully understand without getting distracted with all the other races and all the other bits and pieces that were available. I can just concentrate really on jumping and figuring out that pathway with a schedule that kind of works. Now, there's very few grade ones. That's fine. That's not really our target. The feature races are our target, and the grade ones are going to be the best of the feature races anyway. So I'm not entirely worried about that. Our goal is still the Grand National. We're still kind of playing in the same way, but I think a few of the bugs will have been resolved, and the transfer seems to have gone over okay. We're missing a couple of races that I made kind of at the end of that last save and importing into this one. We've missed one race, I believe, for most of these horses um, under us. So we're starting to kind of get into distances and everything else. We're kind of getting to the right place. So I kind of let me just bring you up to speed on what we've got. So the horses will be named similarly, but because those names already are in this game, they've had to be slightly tweaked. So final salute becomes last salute. Should be able to figure out the distances, but yeah, the horse that we had at the start of that other save still exists, still looks the same, no changes whatsoever. But we ran 2 mile 4 at Wexford, didn't really get anything out of it. We're going down to 2 mile 2, and yeah. Oh, I thought that was a race result. That's just the list of entry. I got really confused there. My apologies. It's like, when did we win a race? We didn't win. Yeah, so it's a couple of lengths shorter. Didn't really run this particularly well, and so we'll just kind of see how they go. I know that there's like flat races, and we can continue on with that. But as a 5-year-old stallion, I think it's time to start testing over hurdles and chase. And this is a different, let's say, different schedule, so things may line up a little bit differently. Wildside is a 7-year-old mare that is actually from this particular save. This is the one horse that we kept on this save because kind of looked okay. It doesn't look amazing, but I do feel that we can run with them. Mainly the reason I kept it is previously run in a Grand National. So, middle of the field, it's an average Grand National runner. I felt that was kind of cool. And yeah, it looks like 4-1 was too far, so I'm going down to a hurdle handicap of 3-7. But we'll kind of see how it goes with that one. Hibbray chart becomes Hibbray charter. We're running there just like 3 mile one. Didn't have the pace at a grade one. Never expected to win, but to be honest with you, to be in contention for money, maybe that's just a bad feel, but like 8 horses run, we finished 6th. We're not that far behind 5th on a trip to France in like the highest class 1, grade 1 feature race. Like that's pretty much as tough as it gets on this schedule, and we could have been in the money. So dropping down a few levels, this is a class 2 handicap. It's not too bad. I think that we're kind of in a good place. Weight to rating kind of ratio. I'm not too much heavier than the lightest. We've got 6 pounds on the guys above us, and we've got what, 7 pounds to the horse at the bottom. So again, we're going to be spending a lot of time on trips to France and to Ireland because that's just the way this schedule works. But that's fine. I'm pretty happy with that. But Hillbrook, I think, is solid. Not amazing, but again, should be okay. Wala becomes Wala. Sometimes the simplest changes just work out well. 4-year-old colt we ran at 2.6 because I really wanted to test a little bit more distance on this schedule to see if we had it. A decent way back, but on a novice hurdle, I think we ran really well. Just needs a shorter trip, so we're coming down to 2.4. We've tested 2.2 before, and so I kind of feel like meeting in the middle will be good for Wala. And again, there's a couple of nice things about this horse that I like, but not an amazing horse. It's a very, very solid horse, and excited to see if we keep gaining potential at age 4, 5, 6. Like, this is 4, is 5, 80%, is 6, 90%. Do we go into our prime with an absolute, like, powerhouse of a horse? Just in terms of, like, ability. We don't really have the cruising burst or the finish. We have finish application, sorry. Extra speed. We only have half of our finish application. So we're not exactly killers anywhere, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out on this schedule. Sayar we bought for 58,000. Just a solid horse, nothing amazing, low confidence, kind of average everywhere else. But again, for like a year 1 horse, which realistically this is year 1/year 2, if you take in the other game, you know, we're still very, very early on. So I don't think this is a bad horse either, where, you know, 2-2 is a touch too far, but it's what we ran before. That might have been too high. It is a feature race. that might have been too high. So we're going to try 2-1 on the flat and kind of see where we go with them. 6-year-old running a flat race, a little weird, but it is what it is. Gombada, horse here for 250,000. Should be able to run on the flat. We didn't, really do well here. It was a hard ground. We were blowing up beforehand. And even then, we were still fourth place. And realistically, if we didn't blow up before the race, you're probably looking there like 6 to 8 lengths, let's say. That puts us in contention for third. It was a hard ground. We don't like that. That's probably another 3 furlongs or so. That puts us ballpark in the area to fight for second. And this was such a great run. I'm actually tempted to watch this one back because second and third impressed me at different points in this race. And we can just see how Gombada runs this. Plunkett goes out to the lead, and then the horses we're kind of watching going to be Lahib the fifth, and right at the back at the moment is Saticon. Those are the two horses that I kind of watched and was blown away at different points. So Lahib is just this sort of purple, dark blue silk, and just turns into a rocket ship at one point, and that was just mind blowing. So, see, we're in a decent position. We're running quite well for a young horse. Don't think we did too badly, considering again the ground is wrong, and we'd already sweated up. We're still in it here. Here comes Sambarina, another one who does quite well. There's Saticon, and then look at Lahib go, and just kind of gets killed a little bit on the hill there, and then comes Sambarina, and Saticon is just pushing us out. But again, hit the ground, blew up, didn't have, any advantages in this race whatsoever. Nice run by Sambarina, quality horse. But Lahib's that little burst of pace, taking from fifth to like a length in front, and then, Sambarina kicked on that hill and just drove out home. Like 3 really good horses, but we're ahead of the field. So lovely little run by a couple of horses. Really enjoyed watching that race, and with all our issues, I think that was quite an interesting one. So we're going to ask Ascot. We're going to try and run again. Hopefully, it's a softer ground. It's not going to be as hard. So we'll see on that one. Pumbo becomes Plumbo, and again we ran a little novice. It's too far for us. This is going to be too far as well, but I just need to keep them going. So it didn't appear to stay, we know that, but horse ran a little freely. We can try one of these pacifiers. I'm tempted by it. The other option is to gel, but that means then we cannot breed from it. So a lot of advice seems to be when they're running freely or they're distracted, etc., the best things to do are just to keep racing them, take the hit, breed from them, don't geld them. If you geld them, they might run better, they might not. But ultimately, it's a very minimal improvement, and you can never breed from the horse. Whereas we keep going, we can breed for this, 96, 97% extra speed, and this potential, which is like 88. At this stage in the game, we really want to breed from horses like Plumbo. So I think that's going to be an interesting decision, case by case. But for me, I kind of think maybe we try and pacify, maybe we don't. But I'm going to hold off the gelding for the next couple of years and see. Because, I think that might work out. Captain Peachy, 10,000. I think he was on the auction block for 2 grand. We put him in this chase, and you know, really didn't go well. But this is a listed handicap in France as well. Really, really tough race. But at least we know the distance. We've seen a lot of 2.5s. I thought 2.5 we'll try. That's where we got ourselves going to. And this is pretty much the same. The 2.5 handicap, 125 at hurdle. This was a 120 at hurdle, where we were, not the top weight. So we came through and won. And in this one, we're going to be a lot higher up, but a little above the average weight, but that's not too bad. Kind of see if we can run well there. So we know the distance, we know what this horse is like. It's not amazing again, but I do feel like it's worth running. It's worth running. And for 10 grand, or probably you could buy it for like 4 grand. I think it's great to get this kind of horse in early. You can breed from them if you really want and just sell the progeny. That's up to you. You could sell the yearlings, probably get like 50 grand to 100 grand for them. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad pickup. I don't believe it's a great horse. I don't believe it's going to win much. And then we got a 10-year-old gelding for 11 grand. Probably could have got for 6, 7, 8 maybe. Just a full stamina bar, laid back, looks okay. It was in a selling race. We haven't actually raced this ourselves, but it was available. So the Hunter Chase again, like we're on weight. At least everyone is 10-7 and 10 for the females. So we've got a decent shot and looks pretty good. Lots of cruising bursts, high confidence, not a lot of extra speed, but great finish application consistency, like a little bit of distance snapped ability, so we can kind of play around with that. I just think really good. If could be lazy, might lack a bit of extra speed, but really we can still run at 10. We know we've got some distance. We're just gonna see kind of how they run at 3-4, but then there's a good chance that we keep moving up in distance so we actually find the distance. But it's where they ran the selling race, is their breeding indicator is a good place to start. But again, a cheap horse with some potential, tons of cruising burst. It is a gelding, so we can't breed from it, but we kind of get to see what this horse runs like, and then that helps us judge and evaluate other horses, and manage their expectations really, moving forward. So I'm pretty happy with that. We got Foxtrot Romeo in. Again, this is a $600,000 or pound horse. I love these bars. These are all looking really good for me. Now, he's fit and ready to race. He's not maybe really ready, but a 3-year-old, I think, okay, no finish application. He's going to have to win the race early because he can't win it at the end. And, yeah. But got a little bit of everything else, I kind of like, and 3-year-old again, if we can fill this bar out. A 4, we could be at like 75. 5, we could be 85. As a 6-year-old to 90 to 95. Potentially, that's what we're looking at. So I'm kind of enjoying that. 2 mile 3. Didn't have the pace for the race. Still was only just short-headed out. We were one of the heaviest horses as well. So, we didn't have a weight advantage. This wasn't at our distance. And we still barely got pushed out right at the death. So I think coming down to 2-1 might be a little bit better. We'll see. We might want 2-2. We've been running at 2s. I think this kind of makes sense for me, though. And again, we're going to be right back in this place of being top rated, top weight kind of thing. I don't know. Don't know how good this horse is going to be, but if it was a flat horse, if this was in the American Save, this would just be a no-go. Like, not enough potential, no finish application, you know, low enthusiasm, confidence kind of hurts it as well. The only thing it would have going for it would be cruising burst. But now I'm forced to evaluate differently, and for the jumps and everything, it's probably not bad. And when you get up to distance, cruising burst means a lot more than finish application. And so, kind of hoping that we can get something worked out with this one. So another young horse with Gombarda, Foxtrot, both 3-year-olds, and then Saturn, who I'm able to run because she has stamina as a 2-year-old, which is fantastic. Probably already at the breeding indicator around 2-4. Sent them all the way over to New Zealand for a Class 1 listed. And yeah, we kind of were holding our own in third, I would say, before we dropped out. So that is what it is. Not a bad first run. I think we did learn. And so we're looking at 2-2-2 and keep pushing it towards that 2-4 if we can. But like I say, we still got a lot of potential to go. And just these bars are all just fantastic. Almost perfect adaptability, consistency, finish application, a bit of cruising burst. I think when we get up to distance, we get her around 4-5, we might, as long as this bar continues to climb too, we might have an absolute fantastic horse to run. I don't know. A 2-year-old to have this bar, who's to say she can't fill this and go for a Grand National one day? I'm not sure. But ultimately, that's where things are. We're breeding from Mullerkeen, who has 6 Grade 1 wins and a Grade 3. Came in third in this one, quite a distance back, and came in fifth, quite a distance back here. So certainly not perfect. This was definitely off distance by probably 4 furlongs. Didn't enjoy that trip to Ireland either. But I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I think we're a 3-1, the 3-2 on Malakina. That's kind of what I would race them. And you can kind of see why this one didn't work out. So, yeah, kind of an interesting horse to have in, but like a great sire to begin with. I will always take that 100%. Pretty much the only one of value in the entire barn. The most money, the biggest fee, the best rating, Grade 1. I think there were a couple of other Grade 1s, but I don't know where they are right now. But that's absolutely fine. And so we're just going to breed all these horses with them. We got an Australian horse. When we tried an Australian jump save, and that crash, we tried a combined one to see if that fixed some of the issues. If it was only on the British side, it wasn't. But we pulled this one in from the transfer list too. So we've got a solid little 2-year-old with potential. Again, she'll come out of the breeding barn as a 3-year-old and see if there's races there for her. We're keeping an eye on her stamina. But we'll breed this year, bring it out as a 3-year-old, see if the stamina bar changes in the first month or so. We'll see if we can, find her a pathway. If not, back in the breeding barn, bring her out as a 4-year-old and run her then. So, kind of excited with this one too. Again, no cruising burst, no finish. That could be really bad. It could be really, really bad. But that potential is already so high. And again, you know, could be 80 to 85 as a 3-year-old, 90 to 95 as a 4-year-old. By the time she hits 5 and 6, she's starting to do the actual chase races, novice chase, and the open age bracket. She could have a full finish, a full potential ability bar. So, yeah, definitely an interesting one. 1.3 million. We bought a 2-year-old all embracing. Some good stats, some not so good stats, but again, 2-year-old with 60% potential. We've got time to grow that where we wouldn't in the American saves. Interested seeing what they can do. 400,000 for Beyond Desire. Over halfway potential. And some solid bars. Not a lot of cruising burst, but again, these are just options that we have. This is one we brought across. And again, it's a 3-year-old. Definitely weaknesses, but could be the start of a breeding program. Katil comes over. So this is our initial breeding stock. Applause, please, was... Can't remember what the name was in the other save, but similar kind of theme. Again, another 3-year-old, solid, just bars halfway across with some potential. So a breeding this year, we'll try as a 4-year-old and see where we can get. 58,000 for, again, just half bars all the way down pretty much. And then Jemima Town, another one we brought across. Bit of potential, couple of nice bars, but nothing too showy. So we're not starting off with a great breeding program. But Mullikin, whatever he's got, there's a wide range of mares that we're going to try and breed with. Yeah, we got 8 mares here. And, yeah, like I say, I'm kind of excited. We got one out as well. This is the Irish horse, same as the Australian, where we tried and we couldn't find a way to make the combined schedule work without that bug on an Irish schedule, because I figured it'd still have a lot of the British races, and the Irish jumps one, solo jumps crashed, but we did get Mickey B, who is a solid horse, again, excitable, but a lot of potential. Reminds me a lot of maybe finish or final. I'm struggling with the new names. Last Salute, Final Salute, Last Salute. I think Mickey B reminds me a lot of them. Excitable, 4-year-old, good potential, solid looking horse, nothing special. But again, we just don't have the stamina. There's no point putting him in breeding. So I think out the field, I'm checking every month or so. I'll jump back in, take a look at the horse, figure out what we're doing. Rather than just have him in this list. We've already got a long list. We've got 11 horses here. And so that's just where we are. And like I say, we've got Gala will come into this save. And then all these horses that are out in the field, they're going to have to come. That's 11 total there, I believe. And then I think we've got 11 of these yearlings too. So 16 a season pretty much means this 11 plus this 5. And then next season, well, next season they'll come in. The season after, the final 6 will come into this save. And then everything we had in the other save, or we're going to have in the other save, will be in, with a bonus Australian, a bonus Irish, and the bonus from this jumps only save, which is Wildside. So quite a lot of horses, a lot to get up to date with. It took a while. I knew it was going to. Now we're going to try and go through these horses and these races as much as possible. I think this is only a 3-horse race. We're going to Ellerslie. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I really don't. Like I say, last run wasn't right in any way, shape, or form, but we're okay now. So we just gotta see. We just gotta see. This might be a slightly better distance. Um, Hopefully the ground is a little firmer, and we can see there. Looks like all four of us right at the beginning. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so we can see the jumps a little better. Looks like Angel of Hope doesn't jump that well. Leaping Flame on the inside. Little forward, little back. Angel there with a nice jump. We've just been consistent. Up and down. So is JK. Not really too much change. It looks like everybody apart from JK there with a decent jump. And that's the thing with jumps. It's not about only about falling or anything like that. Sometimes you can really catapult like 3-4 lengths, and that can be really, really interesting. We're at halfway point now. Jump number 7, under a mile from home. 3 of us right there, Leaping Flame up there, and there goes JK. Big jump, good run, but we haven't really had a good jump or a bad jump. We've just been, because that's probably our first bad jump. We've had like a good-ish jump and a bad-ish jump. I don't think too much change there. We're coming on to around the turn. Jump number 11. That was a little bit of a slow jump. You can see we just drift back a little bit. JK in second, probably like a length and a half, 2 lengths back from Leaping Flame. But we jump. JK jumps. There's a little drive now to the line. Final half of furlong. Leaping Flame is going to be pushing out here. I think JK holds on to second, but we're right there with them. And that means I think we're at the right level. We found the right level of competition and the right race, the right distances, maybe. If all that lines up, then that's good. Because we were just in with a good chance of that race the entire way. And that's 2 miles, 1 furlong, a class 4 handicap at age 3. 2 lengths back isn't a ton. And again, we were carrying a stone of extra weight over JK. That's just, a ton. Even here, it's half a stone on Leaping Flame. That's a ton of extra weight to carry. So these handicap races, you kind of got to take that into consideration too. I don't mind that. I think that's a solid first run. I think that's a solid first run. So I think, again, with this, low distance adaptability, we've got to be careful, but because like Sauterne, totally different idea. Like they got 90, Foxtrot's got 10. Kind of just got to be a little careful. But I think anywhere from 2 to 2-1, we can go. Now, I'm not really going to count it as a foreign trip because there weren't any domestics. I think there were 2 British, there was a French and an Irish. Very solid run, very decent. 3rd out of 4th, but right in that kind of area. And yeah, if we find some firmer ground, maybe that could be a horse. As weird as that sounds to say, but maybe that could be a horse. And I'm gonna bid on, I was gonna say everyone over 100 grand. That only leaves one out. We might as well just bid on them. Because we have the money. And again, at current level, the bar isn't that high. And also there just seems to be a slightly higher caliber of horse at the top end than in other saves sometimes. So don't know whether the game's trying to seed a few extra good horses in early, which is why you can find some extra bargains. I don't know. But we're going to try and just see what's here. And like I say, we're not firmly attached to too many horses right now. I think Plumbu when we get distance on Plumbo, that's going to be a fun one to run. Wala, one of my favorites. And then, the 2 and 3 year olds at that point are going to be the main ones I have, you know, interested in moving forward. The rest are just kind of placeholders and helping us learn and trying to find what each level looks like. So what does a listed handicap look like? What kind of horse can compete in those? What are the traits, the attributes, the levels that we really need to do to be in those kind of races? So I think that helps. Iris Symphony, so 900,000 for a 2-year-old who's halfway everywhere. Again, it's not amazing, but so young, maybe it turns into something. Again, another 2-year-old filly, not a ton of stamina, so we won't be able to run her this year, but breeding ban possibilities 1.35. Again, looks very similar. Breeding barn there. Because I think these are the same or better than the breeding barn mares we've already got. 2-year-old probably can run a 2 mile. We've got the bar. 400,000, bit of potential. Again, no finish application. We might leave late call out and just see if we've got a run or two. Royal Broderick, 400,000. Just halves everywhere. It's literally the level that we're at, and we're able to get so many of them so far. The first one that fails, 400,000, Fred Precedent, not gonna persevere with him. Global World, again, no distance right now. Does not look good. So that's another 400,000. 125,000. Piazza Bauer, there we go. Like this is what we do. I think out to grass, we'll check back on him and see if he gains any distance. Probably won't as a 2-year-old. But if we get the right races, you can easily get 10 to 15% a season. So by the time he's 5, that would be 3 years. That's 45. It's a big jump. So that fills out his bar here as a 5-year-old, which means 6 and 7. You could see him pushing on to 90. So it's kind of weird. Like, I'm having to completely rethink this potential bar. It's so simple for the American flat races. A good 2-year-old is 50% ability, which is the dark green bar for me, and 70% potential. So like he hits half of that, but this is so low. Like 3-year-old, he wouldn't get a 50%. 4-year-old, he wouldn't get to 60% probably. And we're done really by the end of that 3-year-old season, maybe 4 or 5 if they're really good and winning. Like it just doesn't work for me. Low extra speed, no confidence. There's a couple of hits on the horse. But jumps, this could work. This could work, and it's from Mulliquin and Magic User. We don't know anything about Magic User. Just, never done well. Only time they were top 5 was in a selling race. So, don't really fully know. But it's a lot of potential for a horse that sucked that badly. Kind of makes you think the Mulliquin might be really good, which it's not like we have other options. But yeah, like they'll survive for me. They'll survive for me, but yeah, they'll be out in the field for certain. Create a brief is 400,000. Seems to be where we get the most failures. And Tisme is another who can probably race. isn't amazing, but can probably race as a 2-year-old, is laid back, and we could find races for them. So, yeah. Okay, we're not going to find races for them right now. So I think stud, come back as a 3-year-old. Again, we've already got horses to go from. But then no worse, I think, than a Catil we're breeding from. A Somnambula, even a Jemima Town. Like, even if they're only in the breeding barn, then they're going to get better year on year, potentially. Maybe we just keep pushing and keep pushing the 2-year-olds into the breeding barn, just letting them develop over time. That could be a viable strategy here. So, yeah, interesting auction. I don't think that was too bad at all. I say we spent, what, 1 million, 2, 3.5, 4 to 4.5 million, maybe 4.25 million. And we've kept how many? 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's not bad. 800 per 2-year-olds. I'll take it. 100%. 100%. Yeah. That's just not bad. It's just not bad value. I think that's where I am at this stage in the save is I'm adding a ton of value to our stables. And yeah, like I say, it's like 8 or so million. I think to completely do out the facilities. To transfer in, they cost a decent chunk, not a crazy amount to be fair. Like 100 grand, so there's going to be a couple 100 grand more on that. Auctions have probably spent like 10 to 15, but I've doubled the number of horses we've got in the breeding barn and in the racing stables, and some have really improved our stock, and the others have kind of just been in line with the best that we have anyway, and a lot of them are younger. So again, to kickstart your save like 20 mil if using the betting cheat will get you there. If not, that you can just take whatever horses you've got to start off with, one good racer, buy the breeding barn as soon as you can, maybe sell a couple, put a male and a female in the breeding barn, breed them, sell that colt or filly the next year, and do that for the first few years, just picking up bargains at auctions that you just run, that you can make a slight profit and just pay for the upkeep of things, just in a holding pattern for a few years. You'll sell 2 or 3 a year, gaining 1 million a year. You might find a good race that you can race and win some decent races to make another 1 million a year. And you can build up to the point where you are making like 15, 20 million a year with good horses running, good horses in the breeding barn, being able to keep 1 or 2 to race yourself for the next season, being able to sell the others and make a ton of money. And just, once you get to that break even point, that's when you can just really start pushing on for big stuff. By using the betting cheat, we just got ourselves a ton of money really early, bought the facilities, and were able to buy out some auctions to kind of kickstart that program. But you don't need to do it that way. And like I said, I think you're able to get a lot out of the game without doing anything like that. So, yeah, just a little thing to keep in mind, especially in a brand new save. And again, the horses you get in a jump save are going to have a different array of ability. Less finish application, more cruising burst, for example. So you could start a breeding save in the jump save. You could start one in the flat saves. and you can just see the differences. So I think that's it. Also an important thing to remember. Put them on the transfer list, import them into the same save, and bang, you can breed from those as well. That's a good way to seed a new save. Like I say, if you've got one with high cruising burst and one with good finish application, the rest of the bars are okay. Good potential on both. Like it doesn't take long to get that in each save. Not an amazing horse, but just like a good horse. And you just breed them together for a few years and just see kind of what the best of those bowls looks like. Could easily get yourself into a good situation. So that's what we've done here. Well, we haven't done that, but we've done other things to get ourselves into a good situation. And this year is an interesting one. Like I say, we haven't run this one before. This is one we bought off a sale. Um, who knows? Really, who knows? But a solid horse. There's one horse just rated below us. The others aren't super far ahead of us. Couple are for sure, but everybody's on weight. We're a little laid back, so it's kind of like Bay. Don't know if that does anything, but 3 miles, 4 furlong, Fox Hunter Champion Hurdle Chase, Class 3 in the Hunter Chase, 5-year-olds and above, open class at Stratford. Should be interesting. Should definitely be interesting. Oh, and it's in the rain too. That could change everything. The auctioneer will be the favourite. Purple with the green sleeves here at the front. And we're on this near side at the rear. And we'll kind of see we got 20 jumps to go. That's the first one. That's the second. Not too bad so far. A little over 3 miles to go. Again, another undulating course in the rain. Does that mean in-game it pools at the bottom of hills? I don't know. That might be, a variance in course as well. Maybe a little firmer on the top of a hill, where the water's pooling a little softer and muddy in spots. If it's got that level of realism and kind of detail to it, that would be very, very interesting. But at the moment, it looks like Count Bay just up the front. Cois Farag right up with them. Charmant Forest leading up the rest with Yaru Have a Myth. Then it's back to us. We got Fast Times, Maron Flore, and a Shadow at the rear, with the auctioneer just there on that near side, right near the back. But we're in solid position. We're under 2 now, over halfway on the jumps. That was a poor jump from us, though, to start the second half of this course. That's going to put us in a little bit of problems. We've got us and the auctioneer, who are off screen at the moment, but you kind of want to see us come through towards the end. Don't look like we're up here now. We got the top 4. Frag, Bay, Have a Myth, Charmant Forest, Fast Times, trying to bridge that gap. Here comes the auctioneer on that far side. There we are, just into position. We're gone again. Looks like a shadow is gone, and we are at the back now. 4 more jumps to go, and we are getting back in position. That's a decent jump, and we are gaining a couple positions up into 6th there. Another decent jump. Another one has gone. Unseated rider, the auctioneer, though, driving for home, absolutely belting it out. We're falling away. German Forest doing really well. We're up into 4th. We're up into 3rd. Final 1.5 furlongs. We are closing in on Charmant Forest, which will make this a pretty good run, to be honest with you. I don't think we have the pace of the leader. A solid jump and a solid push, and we are stalking past Charmant Forest. We are closing the gap ever so slightly on the auctioneer. No chance at winning, though. They pick it up. Good run for them. As expected, the best horse in the field. Big power, probably, I want to say 6 to 4 furlongs from home. They drove out, they got that gap, they jumped well throughout at the back, and then when they got clear, they stayed clear. Great race from them. We were more up and down, a little more unsettled in our running, but a couple of big jumps, I think, sort of 3 furlongs from home, we started leapfrogging up to like 6th place, 4th place, 3rd place. And that allowed us then over the final 2 furlongs to really strike at Charmant Forest and get ourselves into position. Nice 2nd place, very, very solid. Don't mind that run at all. And that's a class 3 hunter chase. It's not a big race, but it's a solid race. It is a solid race. And we move up to 152 rating on the back of it. We bought it at a selling race. We put it straight into this feature race, class 3 hunter chase, and we weren't embarrassed. And I love that. We picked this up for 11,000, could have probably got it for more like 7. And we've already earned like 5,750 on it. That is fantastic. So yeah, it might be 10, it might be out of its prime, might not be amazing, but it's worth kind of picking these up because this is the kind of performance you're looking for. If it ever filled out that potential bar, then it could have been absolutely a contender in Class 1 races. I don't know about Class 1 features or listed races. I don't know. But yeah, it could probably go higher. So like a Class 2 hunter chase, I think might be okay. And again, considered that we struggle for pace and we were slowly closing on the auctioneer. If we treat that as a true 3-4, which it's running at 3-3-3-4, then yeah, we could. I said it stayed on. We won a bit more, so 3-6, 3-8. We could move up. So that's one of my favorite ones so far. Just on the fact it was so cheap. It's so old. I would never have considered this a horse to buy or to run in the flats. The fact that it's, unrealized potential and that is only decreasing with age. I feel maybe you could see this once was a good horse, but is getting less good as time goes on. Stay away. But this is different. This is jumps racing. This is, distance. It's got the stamina. It's very young. Very young. It was very cheap. I don't care about any of the other things. I'm going to give it a shot, and it has very, very much impressed me. I am very, very, very impressed. Um, yeah, I think we're going to try and find another one for Foxtrot. That was a class 4, 110. So, kind of want to give it a bit of time to recover. I think somewhere around here. I don't really want to go for that feature race, class 2. Listed race, class 1. I mean, that's kind of all there is, unless we go for, like, this flat race. I just don't think there's much there. Saturn, we didn't really have a race for. Gonna need to give this some time. But again, if we are running this at probably like 3-6, I want to try now. There's a 3-7. I think that's good enough. A 140 handicap at hurdles. We got Wildside already in that one. And a 150 handicap, we are carrying a lot of extra weight. I don't know whether I want to run that one or not. There is another 3-4. What's the 3-4? Class 2 handicap. 160. I feel like That would be nuts to be top weight in that race. So, okay, maybe we hold off that one too. But yeah, Toxita is gonna be early. Stand side. Okay. Now is that right turn or left turn? Toxita is left. Left hand turn. So we're running this way. So stand side. It doesn't matter if we're running left or right, surely. Like ground side's always gonna be stand side's always gonna be outside, right? So we're gonna say to run outside. Captain Peachy. Again, just not a great horse. 9-year-old, really low ability, some good things. Again, another older horse that looks like they could have been something at some point. But I feel comfortable in this race at this weight. It's about booking, horses that can possibly win at any given level, or at least place top three. I think that's kind of how I'm booking these jumps races is, do I think we can win or at least come top three? Solid first jump, a little over 2 miles left to run in this one. Jump 2 of 10, we come down that hill. Still at the back, could still get blocked in, and we're against the rail, so we can't run outside. I'd love to see us navigate this gap, get a good jump, come up here, and then start working our way outside. That would be ideal. It looks like, though, the jockey thinks that this horse needs to be held up. Maybe a bit of a close-up. That's a good jump. That would get me now wanting to work towards the outside if we can. We're halfway on the jumps round this bend, and we are starting to move away from the rail a little bit. Let's see if we can get up, and again we can. We're in that gap. That is really nice. We are 7 furlongs from home. Prince de Soil still leading this out from Late Night Ranko Kutkumonga, Divine Mia, and Checkerboard. We are up to that group, and we are moving to the outside. Half a mile from home. A few jumps left. Oh my God, there goes the field. We are also going. That isn't too bad. Lock and Tanks there. Checkerboard in second. Prince de Soil absolutely streaking home. And we are in that challenging pack. A good jump or two could see us move in, and there we go. We are going to move now up into that 5th place. We got Divine Mia just on our outside. We got Checkerboard that might fall off slightly. Doesn't look like they're going to. And like going into that finish, we were like 5th. Then it looked like we were getting up into 4th. Then it looked like we dropped right down to 6th. I don't know quite where we finished. Prince de Soil in front, Lock and Tanks into second, and we did indeed just get our nose in front. Short head or tied for third. I think short head, it looked like, with our momentum. We short headed Divina Mia on the outside and Checkerboard on our inside, and I will take that lovely finish to a race. Yes, we weren't the class of the field. That is fine. We're not the best horse. We didn't really have a chance at winning. Prince de Soil just showboated all over it, front to start, absolute domination. And yeah, kind of expected that. The favorite at low weight, kind of expected that. Lock and Tank's the highest rating. You expect them to do something as well. But we couldn't win. We could get top 3. And that is a nice little run for Captain Peachy. booking races we know we can do something in. Probably could have bought this horse for 3-4 grand. We get a grand of that back on this race. So again, if you're not overbidding like I do, and you're kind of more careful with your bidding, getting the cheapest horses possible, you can turn a profit with these kind of horses. Again, struggled for pace. That's fine. There's not going to be much else we can do. But we're at that 2.5, 2.5 furlong range. Yeah, we were carrying some extra weight. That's not bad though. That isn't too bad. I really, really like that one. I really, really like that one. See what else we've got. There's a 230. There's a nice one here, which will be 9.5. Jockey's 8.9. It's not too much extra dead weight. We're kind of maybe in a sweet spot. Okay, there's one or two like probably really good horses, but again, we can book ourselves into like a top 3, top 5, and it's a decent prize fund to this one. There is a decent prize fund. Okay, don't mind that one. Don't mind that one. And we go to Kelso for our final race of the day. Plumbu, top rated, mid-weighted novice hurdle, 2 miles. It's gonna be too far. We know this already. That's why we're not looking for a potential win here. But a great start, and we move to the outside, and immediately we're challenging round with Peaches, that beautiful grey. Barlinka go into the head as well. The 2 greys leading us out. On the inside is Rugged Cross. Maydream just in with us. Distant Diva behind us off the blocks against the rail. And True Brave behind them. Our Queen of Kings on their outside. And Charmed Gift is bringing up the rear. Jump number 2 of 8 is solid. Little stumble maybe from us. And Barlinka, Rugged Cross doing okay, and the 3 of us now at the front. Peaches and Maydream just holding in behind. Barlinka dropping back into that chasing pack as the pack really does form and coalesce behind us and Rugged Cross. We know Plumbu is a fast horse. It's a short distance horse. It's known to run on the flat. We don't know about his jumping ability. So far, okay, but not great. Rugged Cross joined now by our Queen of Kings as we 3 are at the front, and Plumbu now is probably going to start feeling the distance pretty badly. Here comes True Brave on the outside kicking in. Distant Diva in from behind. 2.5 from behind. A bad jump and that probable, like I say, distance issue gonna hurt us pretty badly. We drop off towards the end. We are in 5th place. We're gonna hold on to that 5th place. And we get money in a race that we just never had the distance for. When we got tired, we started jumping badly. Apart from that, not bad. And I think that is a very promising run with those in mind. Probably like a 1.5 miles. We did die about 4 to 3 from home. If we can ever find that distance just to jump up to 2 miles, we will be okay. But as a novice hurdler, I think we're good. We've got good potential. We're growing a little bit. Extra speed's going. We're better for these runs. And yeah, if we were on distance, I think we're fighting top 3. I think we're fighting our Queen of Kings, maybe getting up ahead. True Brave seem to have a real kick that we might not have. If we're on distance, I think maybe we're second. That's very solid. Very, very solid. Didn't even settle. So, very interesting run. I don't mind that at all. I'm willing to buy from selling races, but in general, I kind of want to buy, like, if they totally dominate, and they don't. But for breeding, if nothing else, again, could probably get this horse for like 4 grand. We end up paying 21 or so. Just want to see. Yeah, not much. Not much. But no, I'm fairly happy with that. I think I've got every right to be pretty happy as we move into the fourth breeding pairing. Not amazing runs, sure. But like I think we can just keep pushing. Even though we don't have distance, we're getting better. And that potential is kind of there. Maybe we can work some stamina into this horse. I don't know. I don't know, but somewhere on sure we can't do a flat race, which is really what I want to do. Don't want to move into the features. This novice chase, maybe this novice hurdle, definitely better. 100-mile trip, very solid, mid of pack again. I think that's the best for Pumbu there. So yeah, we're kind of starting to pay a few bills with some of these cheap horses. And that's the main thing. We've got a lot of these booked in for future races. And as I say, the old save died. Too many issues. This is way less complicated, way less buggy. I can trust the information I'm reading. The schedule is a little less convoluted and congested. A few more walkovers, few void races. I'm prepared to deal with that to get rid of the other issues. And we're still seeing some of our favorite horses come up big. So that's where we're going to leave this Jumps episode. Thank you very much for watching. And as I say, have your say, what you think of these horses, the pathway we're on, some of the new guys that we've got in the barn and in the racing stable. Who are you excited about? What are you waiting for? Is it like, are you just sad that, as I am, that Plumbo hasn't got that distance yet? Is it that, some of these 2-year-olds should be racing and not in the barn if you can find them races? Maybe the 3-year-olds, the ones in the field. Or are you more excited about people that we still have on the transfer list to bring in? Or maybe you're most excited about Malqueen and his program that we've got breeding with all these different horses now in the barn. 13 yearlings will be appearing next season. So let me know, comment section down below. It is worth noting as well, this schedule doesn't run January to December. It runs May to April. And so the Grand National is at the end of this schedule. I think it's April 9th. And it ends on the 29th. So there you go. The Grand National is right there at the end of the schedule. So we're always working to the end of the season for a Grand National. And then we got 3 weeks with a couple of okay races, mainly in Punchestown. Those would be the big ones. There we got the Celebration Chase. We got like a 2-miler. Japan is a big race as well. But some shorter distance stuff after the Grand National. But that is kind of the end of season big goal that we have. So yeah, comments, tips, tricks, feedback, everything as usual. Appreciated it as always. Been a big help for me sort of getting motivation to play the jumps again, as well as the feedback and the tips to not totally suck at jumps, which I think we're kind of finding our feet, which is really nice. So keep those comments coming in, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time though for more starters orders in this jump save. We've got our American flat save for the Triple Chrome. We're hunting down there. We've got the tips and tricks 3 videos at the moment. Breeding, money, and modding have been gone over, as well as other various tips. So check that out if you have time. Leave a like on those videos. Really does help out the channel massively. And until next time, stay safe, behave, and good luck to you in your saves, especially if you're learning a new one. It can be difficult, but persevere, It is worth it.